Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a balanced druid PvP guide. So let's go ahead and dive right into the talents. So right now there's two different builds that I use, and my favorite one personally out of all of them is the single target build. And let's go ahead and start off with the left side of the tree. For the most part I don't really switch out anything, but there is a few different talents you can switch out if you really want to. And one of them is Protector of the Pack. You don't have to use this one. I usually prefer it more in World PvP or Battleground Solo, which is primarily what I do. But if you're doing something like Arena / Soul Shuffle or something like that, you can switch out Protector of the Pack and put in Heart of the Wild. And the reason why that is because it's really nice for arena type of situations, because I'm not a huge fan of long cooldowns, and of course the Heart of the Wild is long cooldown. So, and since what I primarily do is like battlegrounds and type of stuff, but in arena like Soul Shuffle, you can use it in that kind of situation because Soul Shuffle it'll reset the next round, so it'll be really nice to have in Soul Shuffle. And then for arenas, it could be useful for helping out your teammates by giving like you bear form and extra stamina and so on and so forth. So for arena, my recommendation would be to use Heart of the Wild. But if you're solo and stuff, I think Protector of the Pack feels a lot more nicer because you'll pretty much always have it up because you'll be doing damage in battlegrounds and all that stuff, and your regrowths will be doing a lot of, it'll be doing some decent self-healing. So, but like I said, if you want, you can do Heart of the Wild as well. It's just that it's a very long cooldown, and I'm not really big on long cooldowns personally. So this is the build that I generally use on the left side. Other than that, I don't really switch much of anything else. And this would be what I recommend on the left side. Now for the right side, for the most part, I don't switch out anything as well unless I switch to an AoE build. This is my single target build that I go with. I like running Warrior of the Loon for the instant casts for the single target burst. It feels really nice with the single target build. Orbital Strike hits very, very hard. I really love having that. Not to mention it gives you 2-minute cooldown on your burst. So having 2 minutes on Incarnation now is pretty huge, and why I recommend having this for the single target build. Of course, you got Incarnation instead of Convoke, so Incarnation is very nice. And then we got the Fairy Dragons you summon, who will give you even more damage. So that'll be nice as well. Up to you if you want to use New Moon over Fury of the Loon. I'm just more into Fury of the Loon because if you got melee on you or people targeting you, it'll be a lot harder to just get New Moon off or all that. You could juke them obviously, of course, but it's just a lot easier to get Fury of the Loon off, and you'll get a lot more astral power that way, etc. So why I recommend getting Fury of the Loon over New Moon. And then for the rotation for this build is you just pretty much dot up everybody as much as possible, obviously, so you can get your, dots rolling out, all that fun stuff. And then once you got your dots up, and if you're full astral power, just go ahead and Star Surge real quick. Get into an Eclipse, Star Surge. Actually, I should just, we have Incarnation up, so hold on, let's redo this. Full dots into everybody real quick. So make sure you keep your dots on everybody. Star Surge because we're full Astral Power. Pop Incarnation. Star Surge because we're full Astral Power. Fury Balloon. Warrior Balloon. Star Surge. Star Surge. Star Surge. Star Surge. Warrior Balloon. Starfire because we need to get full Astral Power. And you can see how many Star Surges I just spent. That was probably like 8, maybe 8 or 9 Star Surges. And that's pretty much the entire rotation. So, obviously, other than that, just make sure you keep your dots up with as many people. And then if you need to get back into Eclipse, I like to go Wrath, so that, to get back into Eclipse that way. This Wrath's a lot easier to get off. And then that way, if you do Wrath instead of Starfire and you got people on you, you'll do a lot more damage with Starfires with melee on you, and that way you can cast your insta-cast. So, and that's pretty much that. So, you can do an insane amount of single target damage with this build. Other than that, basically, you can see my incarnation still on cooldown, but your Warrior Balloon and Fury Balloon will come up one more time before your burst does. So what I like to do is get back into an Eclipse, pop Fury Balloon, Warrior Balloon, Star Surge, Star Surge, Star Surge, Starfire, Starfire, Star Surge, Starfire, and then Star Surge. Obviously, make sure your dots are maintained as well before you do that. So that's pretty much the entire rotation for this build. Now let's go over the AoE build, although it's going to take me a second because these pets unfortunately are summoned. Let me see if I can shout them out and restart here. There we go. Cannot change talents in combat. Yes, I understand. Alright, there we go. It's unfortunately the downside of the talent of the pets. Anyways, for this one, the talents I have switched out are I'm not using Protector of the Pack, and right now with this build I'm using Nature's Vigil, and I'm using Gale Winds, and also improved Sunfire. For this one, for this talent tree, I am also going to be using on the right side is Starfall, and also Lunar Shrapnel and Kindling. I'm also not using Lude's Guidance anymore. I'm still using Orbital Strike, but for this build you can also switch out for for Arcanic Pulsar. Sorry, I cannot freaking speak. And then everything else is kind of basically the same other than those talents I listed. You don't have to use Nature's Vigil if you want. You can also still switch it out for Heartland Wild if you desire. But for this build, you're pretty much just going to be constantly AoE. And you're not really going to be doing much of anything else. This is pretty much just like a pad the meters for battle rounds type of build. So if you're interested in just completely just dominating the meters and AoEing like crazy, that's pretty much what this is. You're just going to be spamming Starfalls. So that's pretty much what you're going to be doing. You don't have to use Orbital Strike because the more astral power you spend, you could get your incarnation for 12 seconds that way. I don't personally like that talent though. It just doesn't feel as right to me. So this is just, like I said, more pad the meters. Just keep spamming your Starfalls. Just pop for your Loon when you got it up and just spam Starfalls. And that's pretty much what this build is. Just maintain your dots. Spam Starfalls every time it's up. Get into an Eclipse when you can. Use mushrooms to get even more dots and slow your targets. And I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a pretty fun build. But I just prefer the single target build because I like to blow up a certain target. Like, you never know, you could blow up a healer pretty quickly or blow up a DPS rather quickly and take them out of the fight. But AoE cleaving them down is also just as good. So it's completely up to you on what build you want to play. But I definitely like the single target build a lot more. Do keep in mind, if you are playing this AoE build, I would recommend playing Starburst with it. So if you're going to play the AoE Starfall build, then pick Starburst. So, and that's that. Speaking of Starburst, honor talents wise, here's the honor talents I run. I run Thorns a good majority of the time. If there's no melee, obviously you can switch it out for something like Celestial Guardian or Fairy Swarm. Again, if there's actually no melee, I guess it's kind of pointless to pick that one. Or High Winds. And then the other ones I always run are Alkin Adept or Moonkin Aura. Those are the other two I pretty much always run. So the only one I would actually switch out if there's like no melee around would be Ghost Celestial Guardian, because when you're in bear form, you take reduced damage from their spells. So those are about the only ones I would switch out. The rest of them I was not really impressed with. So if you're running AoE build, you can just ignore Thorns and run Starburst the entire time. So those are the honor talents I would run. And that's it for talents and honor talents. Now let's go ahead and go over the next thing, which is stats. For stats, I like to run Versatility, Haste, then Mastery. If you want to do really big damage, you could go mastery if you really want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend just going haste, because you're obviously going to be wanting to get clones off, your wraths faster, and stuff like that. So I would recommend haste over mastery, and that's just my personal preference. Now let's go over embellishments. For embellishments, you're going to want to go precog, because you're going to be wanting to juke a lot. You're going to be getting focused quite a lot. People love focusing boomies right now, so you're going to be trying to juke a lot. So if you got melee on you, you're trying to constantly cyclone, because you're going to be wanting to cyclone a lot. You're going to want to be just absolutely juking the absolute crap out of everybody. It's just the way it's going to be going. And then once you juke them, you'll be immune to CC and interrupts. Nobody can CC you or interrupt you, and you'll be able to get a free cyclone off, no problem. So, always get precog. For the second embellishment, I don't have it yet, but I would recommend getting probably Verdant Conduit, maybe. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't really decided 100% what I want to get on my second thing yet. Maybe I'm thinking either probably something like the foot wraps or Verdant Conduit. I think those are the only ones that I'm kind of like leaning towards right now. So you can get either one of those, and it'll be fine. So those are my recommendations for embellishments. Now, for the tier sets, right now I do have the 2 set, and it increases the Wrath or Starfire damage when you use Starfall or Star Surge. And you can hit some pretty high Wraths, you can hit some pretty high Starfires with it with Warrior Balloon if you're running the single target build. So, I would recommend getting the 2 set right now. And I would get it on the pants because it has haste versatility on it, and chest piece because it has haste mastery on it. Now for the 4 set, I would recommend getting it as well, and my recommendations for the 4 set would be, right now since I have the gloves, I'm probably going to get it on the shoulders and the helmet. I mean, crit isn't necessarily the best choice, but it has haste on it, so that's why I'm getting it on the helmets. And then shoulders, it has versatility mastery, although losing a little bit of haste, that's perfectly fine. But those are my recommendations if you're going for the 4 sets. Now you can get gloves if you want to as well, but I got crafted gloves with a haste on it, so it's completely up to you. But my recommendations for sure, at least get the pants and the chest piece, because it has really good stats for both of those. And then if you don't go for the 4 set, it's up to you, but my recommendation would be shoulders and helmet. And that's it for the tier sets. For rotation, I pretty much already told you guys. So that is pretty much it for the video. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. And yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite build is, if it's single target or the AoE build, and I will see you guys later.